Hey, hey, hey! Um, this is my creative quarantine blog. It is like my 27th day of quarantine. It is officially Thursday, April 9th, 2020. And I'm reporting this from my basement in Seattle, Washington. I often wonder if you do these things, if people will look at them in the future, because I really have this envision. I mean, I like to envision myself, yeah, I like to envision greatness for myself that I'll never achieve. But one of the sort of fantasies that I've had, probably one of the reasons I started this blog too, was that I thought that in the future, because this will be such a historic event, they're going to need sort of play by play, uh, you know, uh, sort of, they're going to need narratives of what happened, and I'm planning on being the voice of my generation. No, I'm not. But I'd still like to describe kind of what's going on. So today, yesterday actually, I rode my bike up Magnolia Hill in Seattle, which is a big hill. I also took my kettlebell with me, which is like a big weighted bell with a handle on it. I found out about it from Joe Rogan, and then he had some Russian guy on his show, like some Russian dude. I don't even remember his name. I was too lazy to even look that up. Anyway, they had some Russian guy on the show, and that was showing like all these kettlebell workout, and it's a cool. I love it. It's because you can do a lot with it, and it's really just a weight you hold, and you do like stomach exercises, and you can do sort of squats and stuff like that. Anyway, I rode my bike up Magnolia Hill, and over, and then I came back up, and there's a park on top. So I sat out in the middle of the park and worked out with my kettlebell for a while, until I was worn out, and then I rode my bike back. And over, it was a good workout. It felt really good. So I highly recommend a kettlebell if you get stuck in quarantine. Keep one in your with your emergency food supply, because that kettlebell can do a lot for you. My daughter has been working out every day, and I'm proud of her. My daughter has an iron will. That girl was born with oh, I can hear her upstairs. I hope she doesn't hear this. But she's been working out every day, so I'm very proud of that, and that she's kept up with it. Um, the world has gotten just, I thought the world would change. In some ways, the world's changed a lot in this whole, in the whole quarantine. For instance, the nature. Nature is booming. It's like that part of the world has changed a lot. People are nicer to each other. I thought that the media might grow up a little bit, but I think we're going into election, which is going to be, you know, Donald Trump versus Joe Biden, which is about the most unappealing election. I mean, I don't know how you get any less appealing than that. I don't know how the Democrats messed it up that badly. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Donald Trump. Just give me somebody that, give me somebody worth voting for. And they seem to get Democrats have just turned into this like cult. It's a strange thing. The one thing I will say about Joe Biden, that man is the most honest politician in America. Because when they're asking something about, where'd this money come from or what'd you do here, and he says, I don't remember, I believe him. That dude does not remember anything. Yeah, so those are my two options for president. I mean, gosh, anyone. What I really want is an FDR style Democrat, but those don't seem to exist anymore. And I want them to bring back a lot of the policies that were overturned from the New Deal, especially in banking. I think that's key, but I seem to be the only one that, cares or talks about it or anything else. By the way, I really like Tim Pool, Timcast. That's a good show. Timcast, that's a real good show. I like him a lot, but I don't like his financial analysis because he doesn't ever talk about. He basically has this idea about that the world is run. It's like kind of this supply and demand. It's a very simple financial, simple analysis of finance. It's not. I want to hear. Somebody needs to understand synthetic finance. They understand the derivatives market, leverage, all the rest. These are the problems that we have in our economy. We basically have a privately held tax system, and that is to a large degree the derivatives market. And And you can't really talk about it. Like I don't. The only people that really talk about it well are is Max Kaiser over at the Kaiser Report. So, and he's been very influential for me personally. I mean, we talked about he talked about Tim Pool talked about rentals today, and he didn't even mention like rental back securities or the way they're collateralized or anything about Wall Street. It was just like, oh, there's landlords and they have, and the system that finances that is what has caused rents to increase so significantly. It's basically a privately held tax system for Wall Street. They're allowed to put all these rental payments together into a security that they're selling, and then they're insuring it with credit default swaps. It's a giant mess. And honestly, we're paying to get our rents to go higher because we gave Wall Street, we're giving them free money and all the rest of this. And to not have that in an analysis is really just, um, that piece of it. I think Tim Pool really needs to talk to Max Kaiser. That would be a great interview because I think Max Kaiser would have a lot of good information for Tim Pool. Anyway, that's what I did today. Uh, One other thing that you're going to see in quarantine is good quality quarantine hair, which means bad hair. I have gotten noticed that I'm getting, not only is my hair getting longer, my beard's getting kind of messed up. I can fix the beard, but I'm starting to get a mullet. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's starting to grow out back here. I think like there's different levels of quarantine, um, different levels of quarantine hair. You go from that sort of like scruffy to sort of like you look like a roadie for REO Speedwagon to like completely homeless. I think I'm in the roadie for REO Speedwagon phase, but I'm quickly headed into the homeless phase. I have a lot of friends actually that are homeless. So, in fact, my good friend Ryan is homeless. And he's just a weird dude. I don't know why he does that, but I love him. But he's homeless. I don't know. Where I'm older now. When I was young and I used to have homeless friends, I was kind of like, yeah, whatever, kind of punk rock. But once you get in your 40s and you're homeless, yeah, that's when it gets a little rough. Um, but I've had good friends that I really have friends from all walks of life. I got wealthy friends, I got poor friends, I've got uh, I've got friends with lots of problems, and I got friends with no problems. One of the things one of the other things that's been in the news a little bit that I find particularly annoying are celebrities. Celebrities, the last thing anyone wants to see is your multi-million-dollar mansion and your pool and all the rest of that crap when you're stuck inside drinking and you lost your job. I want to see people that are. I want to see like real people. I don't want to see this like the celebrity crap is has gotten old fast. People need to get a little perspective on what they're showing because nobody that's like struggling and is worried and all the rest is going to care about you know your fancy video. And quit singing, god damn it, too, unless you can sing something that's it's worthwhile. I want some blues. That would be good. Blues. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, sing something but this is ridiculous. you know. Anyway, and I'm sick of celebrities anyway. I'm sick of these people trying to, you get this multi-million-dollar lifestyle. And you just look down on everyone, and most normal people, I don't know. It seems like they've just gotten really disconnected from what normal people, um, think or anything else. They just want to like sort of preach to you. They become like this weird separate class of people. Anyway, I really wanted. That's been a kind of a. It's been in the news a lot. Like, anyone to all the celebrities in America, please just shut the fuck up. Really, unless you can do something cool. I like Tom Hanks. Hey, Tom Hanks did a good one because Tom Hanks got got the COVID virus, and then he had a cool quote. He said, it was a quote from one of his movies. He said, "There's no crying in baseball." I kind of laughed when I read that. I was like, Tom Hanks is a guy like you. That's a guy you're like, man, I want to be friends with Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks seems like a really cool guy. Um, Maybe he's not. Maybe he's like some whacked out, coked out celebrity. But I don't think so. I think he's probably kind of like the Oprah for older white people. like me. Anyway, have a good night. And I'm going to do another video, I think, about in response to Tim Pool